Thank you. My God, it is wonderful to be here at She the People Summit, and I still can't get over what a phenomenal name that is. My name is Rebecca Rios, and I am proud to lead the House Democratic Caucus in Arizona. Now, people will say Arizona, and I will say, yes, Arizona. You don't hear a lot of good news coming out of Arizona. Unfortunately, we remain a state where it is exceedingly difficult for women, certainly when it comes to our reproductive rights. But I am thrilled to be able to talk to you about one of the most exhilarating and inspiring legislative sessions that I've ever been a part of, and one whose highlights were largely female-led. Before the good stuff, we had a difficult start. We actually voted to expel a member for sexual harassment. It was a powerful moment and a near unanimous vote. That lawmaker's name was Don Shooter, and as you can imagine, he is a retrograde throwback to an era where women exist for his amusement, to be objectified and belittled, and where the chances of getting his support on a bill depended on how attractive your lobbyist was. He blamed everyone but himself on the way out the door, and as you might also imagine, he didn't take the hint, and he ran again for the seat. He came in last place. That restored my faith in the electorate, which at times, I will admit, wavers. But I don't know if you're seeing it where you live, but there is an energy in Arizona that is real. In our recent primary election on August 28th, we saw record turnout, and it was being driven by younger female voters. Right after that primary, we laid to rest our senior Senator John McCain. And as we were waiting to view his casket lying in state at the Capitol, there were a group of female lawmakers from both parties that were sharing stories from the campaign trail. Like me, each of these women talked about energized women voters that they had met who told them, I just went down the ballot and voted for every woman I could find. Now, of course, we'd like voters to be a little more discerning than that, but I'll take it. One of the most diverse and talented group of lawmakers and candidates is on the ballot in Arizona, one of the most diverse I've ever seen in my state. In fact, so diverse that it was enough to trigger a prominent conservative male newspaper columnist to wonder if white males still have a place in the Democratic Party. Let me just say, thanks for the concern, but it's not true. I have many, many terrific white male colleagues, and they are well represented on our ticket, and they are certainly overrepresented on the other side of the aisle. But let me just say that even if it were true, 1776 to 2018 is a pretty good run, don't you think? So about our amazing legislative session. We started with something rare, Republicans reaching across the aisle for Democratic votes on a plan to combat the opioid epidemic. I was able to negotiate $10 million for treatment, adding real money to the plan that would make a real impact. Everybody won. The governor's office, Republicans, Democrats, and the public and the media applauded us. So of course, they refused to negotiate with us again. However, when they wouldn't work with us, we went over and we went around them. One of our incredible up-and-coming members, and she is in the audience today, I didn't realize she was going to be here, Representative Athena Salmon. Representative Salmon proposed a bill to address the inhumane treatment of female inmates in the Arizona prison system. For years, female inmates could get no more than 12 feminine napkins a month. 12. Imagine that. Her bill was being held up by a male Republican committee chairman. That's when Representative Salmon and local activists sparked a grassroots online response that we called #LetItFlow. Women from around the state and eventually around the country began mailing tampons and pads to lawmakers. It attracted nationwide news coverage, and about the time that CNN tweeted it to their 47 million followers, the Republicans were saying, make it stop, make it stop. Our governor, Doug Ducey, tripled the number of pads that female inmates could get, but more importantly, because of Representative Salmon, we restored some basic human dignity to incarcerated women as they pay their debt to society. And finally, some of you may have seen coverage of this, but the teachers and public school supporters in Arizona have finally had enough. Enough with the chronic defunding of education and enough with the disrespect of our educators. Thousands of educators walked out and swarmed our Capitol. The Red for Ed movement was not only one of the most inspiring, but also the smartest and best organized grassroots political movements I have ever seen. And why wouldn't it be? They were teachers, and they were also 3/4 women. The energy of our teachers and an awakened public moved Republicans from a proposed 1% raise to a 10% raise. But in Arizona, we know that's not enough. Our schools are still $1 billion short of where they were before the recession, and the governor refused to consider new revenue to actually pay for the raise. So Red for Ed is still out there working, taking on anti-education lawmakers, and many of those teachers are now running for office. And so let me just say that if you want to see She the People in action, watch out for Arizona in November. Thank you.